Here's an interesting question. Are we nice people? Are people with Asperger's nice, decent people? Now, let's look at two extremes to start off with. Oftentimes in movies or TV series, etc., you can get there's the disturbed loner trope, and that is the quiet loner who doesn't have any friends and is a bit creepy, and they turn out to be a psycho killer. And people do have box people with Asperger's in that category at times, as if they're kind of, well, psychotic loners who hate humans, etc. I'm going a bit extreme, but you understand what I'm saying here. There's that extreme. Then there's the idea that people with autism and Asperger's are basically quiet, gentle, not harm a fly, and very super nice people, like cuddle bunnies, etc. The truth is, in my own experience, is it's pretty much in the middle there. Now, I've met other people with Asperger's and autism. Some of them are a real piece of the work. Some of them can be really rude, horrible people that you just don't want to spend time with. There's others that are really nice guys, etc., nice, friendly, etc., etc., and they're pretty good people, But in general, I think it's more in the middle. Now, let's go into this subject a little bit deeper. Would I say, am I a nice guy? Am I a good person? Well, my answer to that is I try to be. I don't always succeed in that, and sometimes I just can't be bothered to care what people think of me, but generally I try to be the best person I can be. That's what I would say. Now, honestly, I've screwed up in time. I've upset people. I've hurt people's feelings. I've done things that I do regret. And all I can say is that I am genuinely sorry for hurting the people I've cared about and others, and I try to learn from those mistakes and try to be better. That's my attitude. That's coming from me personally. So I wouldn't say, oh, I'm a good person, because I'm a person that wants to be a good person. That's what I would say. And it's difficult sometimes, because when you're trying to be a nice person, you're trying to navigate through a minefield of social interactions which you don't quite understand, and it's very hard. In fact, it's frustrating. And if we talk about meltdowns, which do happen, can happen in frequency as well, doesn't mean we're evil people or etc. Just means we're just overwhelmed and overloaded, and things just get too much. And sometimes you do lash out in anger for no good reason. But then again, most normal people act the same. You see, the same principles can be applied to so-called normal people. I would say with Asperger's, it's like a fingerprint. There are many different. Every fingerprint is unique. Now, some people with Asperger's don't care about other people's feelings and don't bother to care, and and will say things that are very hurtful and just don't care about how they hurt others. On that reason, yes, those people are horrible people. I've never met anybody that's what they call a psycho killer, etc. Although I have met some rather creepy people in my time, unfortunately. But then again, I wouldn't say that there are amazingly good people with Asperger's either. I suppose one of the things is we do have to depend on others, and that can be perceived as being difficult. And I suppose in some ways it's difficult. I mean, it's difficult for us to deal with, and then you've got other people that have got to put up with our behaviour at times, which can be very, very uncomfortable. I'm saying this from experience. I know it's hard, but but to an extent, I've learnt to understand how other people might feel, and that's the thing. Being a better person is learning to be a better person. You're growing. I'd say you constantly are growing as an individual. You're constantly learning. Okay, this ain't the right thing. I'm not talking about like the bare basics. I'm talking about like the nuances of things, you know. Because sometimes it's like when you fall in love with somebody, for example. I think a lot of guys are guilty of this. Sometimes when they fall in love with a woman, they get this massive rush and their feelings get way too strong because it's like a buzz, and they don't know how to control it, and then they start getting a bit intense with the girl they like. I don't think they mean to. It's just more like they're overwhelmed, and that's what I've done. I'm guilty of that. But that's the thing though, it's still hard, and when I do get feelings for a girl, those feelings do get very, very intense, so it's very difficult to know what to do, etc., and know how to be cool, etc. But one of the good things is it's genuine. When we feel something, it is real and genuine, so it's not like something a bit creepy or anything. And yeah, just to debunk this idea of the creepy loner idea. Now, there are people with Asperger's that have committed murder and committed terrible crimes. Those people are guilty. If they are genuinely guilty and they've committed those crimes, etc., they should be put in prison. But it is stupid to say everyone with Asperger's is like that individual there that's committed murder. That's ridiculous. Imagine if that same rule was applied to, well, people of a different race. If you said that about a person's race and said, oh, everyone of this race is a thief and they should all be locked up. That's completely unreasonable, unfair to judge one individual's action and place a whole their entire race on that. And it's the same principle with judging with people with Asperger's. Okay, we do like our own company at times. I think that's quite reasonable to say, and we do find it hard to interact with people socially. But doesn't mean we're creepy psychos or anything like that. We just don't know how to behave at times. And I do think if people are a bit more patient and show a bit more compassion at times, I think it can work both ways. But then I can only speak from my own perspective. I'm not what we call a psychologist or anything like that. I've got no PhDs. I'm coming from my own experience, which I've lived with this condition for a very long time. And so it's hard. But in general, I would say everybody with Asperger's can be good or bad. It depends on the individual. If they want to improve, then they will improve. It's simply down to the individual person, and if they want to have the will or desire to change for the better. Because otherwise you won't be a better person unless you actually want to change and want to accept that you mess up and screw up and make social faux pas and do those things. Until you learn to accept that you have these weaknesses, etc., and that we're imperfect human beings, then only then can we actually say, yes, I do screw up, but I'm trying to be a better person. So I would say most people with Asperger's are trying to be better people, from my own experience. Just some of us are good and bad. So I hope that wraps it up for you guys, and you've learned something new. Thank you for watching the video, and ciao for now.